This project is called the Virtual Global Will Project, and it's basically has three educational partners, one in Iowa called Kirkwood Community College, one in Dublin in Ireland called Dundalk Institute of Technology, and of course ourselves here in Melbourne, RMIT University.
The project that we're doing is a tourism campaign for Dundalk in Ireland, so they were really interested in getting a global perspective on how they can improve their tourism.
We've come up with an integrated marketing communications plan, and we've come up with a budget for how to do it, implementation schedule, objectives. It's been communicated with the Americans and the Irish, and we've come up with it together on a global scale rather than just an RMIT scale. And just being able to collaborate ideas has just been really amazing.
The biggest challenge is the fact that you have your own team located here that you're working with, and then you have other teams located in other countries. So we've got Ireland, we've got America, and so we'll come up with our ideas here, but then the problem is having to sort of work with them and collaborate together, because you don't get the experience of being face-to-face with them, so you've then got to communicate via Skype, via emails. So there's the time challenges and then just not the face-to-face interaction.
Virtual Will is a new concept to RMIT. Will's been around both within RMIT and broader educational institutions throughout the world, but virtual seems to be a new trend in Will, and my take on virtual is that I suppose there's an IT aspect to it. So students from Melbourne will be collaborating with the Irish students and the US students via the various technology mediums like Skype and Facebook and iLink and a few other sort of proprietary packages.
I would see Dundalk very much as ideally located on the East Coast. We are halfway between Dublin and Belfast, two major entry points into the country. And
at the start it was a little bit difficult trying to organise times and how to communicate best, but as you go along and you communicate more, you get to know each other better. You sort of start to figure out what works well for your team, what doesn't work well. So Skype sessions have become more successful as we've gone along. The emails, the way, just the processes we've communicated have improved.
My students nominated to do this project. And what surprised me was as we got along, they realised the time factor between different countries was a real impediment on their communication. So I had to take a lot of time to go through the process of them understanding how time management is an imperative part of this project. What Dundalk has is a lot of B&Bs, it has hotels, it has fishing, golfing, hill walking, land sports. But most people don't realise that who come to Ireland. How do we go about increasing the excitement of this place? How do we go about increasing the tourism? Hi.
Hi.
So, how's it going with Friday's presentation? You're going to lead it, Christine, but you two have to participate.
I think that culturally here in Australia, the way we like to do things is really to sit around in groups, talk about it, nut it out, understand it. Overseas, I found the biggest difference working with the American team especially is they're very formal in the way that they do things.
Because it's been an awesome experience connecting with Australia, also with Irish people as well. As you see here, we have a budget traveler.
So when working with them, we really found that our Skype conversations took a different structure than they would when we were just hanging around and talking about the project here in Australia. We found Ireland's culture very similar to ours though.
In terms of culture, we are looking at three cultures obviously. We have the Australian culture, the American culture and the Irish culture. And whilst we all share a common language, we do not share a common educational system, and we don't share a common approach to how we deliver and the students learn, and we also don't share the same historical background and everything else that comes into it. So in terms of culture, it really is a matter of being interested and wanting to learn from what they practice and wanting to understand their business methods, because we work in a business global culture now, and what the students can learn and the teachers from doing a project like this is how business operates globally as well, and that's a great opportunity. No, is Ireland when your classes are timetabled, when your students are working on this project?
I look after that, Sally. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be pretty much impossible to do a live 3-way classroom.
Yes, I think we've figured that. Communication is perhaps one of the most essential things to get right in this project. It is relying upon global communication tools and platforms that people would use, I guess in a business sense, to run a project across the world. So we investigated lots of different technology. That was part of one of their briefs, was to actually look at the global communication tools that would work best for this project. So that became a challenge in itself.
We'll be, hoping to get some students to actually go over to Ireland and present the integrated marketing communications plan on behalf of their team in front of the real life client. Well, this Virtual Will project is running within the second year PR students, and I saw this as sort of a fantastic opportunity to give PR students, before they head out, they're in their final semester, an opportunity to work on a global project. There's about 40 students participating in the project, and then 10 of the students are fortunate enough to actually go on a study tour component. So they will be actually meeting their US counterparts and Irish team members in Ireland for a 2-week study tour. So fantastic opportunity for our PR students.
The study tour, which is an industry experience visit to Ireland, it was almost like the cherry on the top for the project. It didn't have to happen for the Virtual Global Will project to run, but it was a really nice extra feature of the project. And the students get to top off all their learning and deliver it to the actual client who they've been studying and researching and devising this IMC plan for.
I thought that was brilliant. I have to say, I really, really did think it was brilliant.
So how have you found working on the global student project with the Irish, American and Australian students?
It's just been an amazing opportunity. The students from Iowa were really, really interested in this, but the students from Melbourne focused on 3 completely different areas, So like that kind of marketing insight, it's priceless.
Basically what we have developed is what we like to call a foundation campaign. We're not jumping straight. When I tell people about the project and what we're doing and who our client is, they're usually taken away that as university students we've been given such an opportunity and selected to participate in it. I think going into the workforce, this is such a competitive edge, and not a lot of other students would have had the opportunity and would have had the skill that we've learnt throughout the process and be able to contribute that within an environment.
My students have been very enthusiastic throughout this whole project, purely because it's new, it's innovative and it's global. And of course, they love it on their CVs. It gives them an edge on employability.
The most satisfying thing would be getting something delivered across 3 countries. So coming together, forming ideas together, creatively, and just getting it down on paper in something that everyone's contributed to. I think that's been really satisfying when it does all come together at the very end and you think, okay, we've done this. It's happened across all of our limitations from not being in the same room with one another. We're still able to do it. I think that was satisfying.
I think the most important thing is giving students exposure to what it's like to communicate or do global business communications with other partners on the other side of the world, because I believe that once they get in the workplace, there's a growing requirement for employees to be able to collaborate with other partners with the increase of globalisation.